I came to Brown because I was looking for a place where my clinical skill would be nurtured and developed, where my personal life would be nurtured and developed.
Brown has an excellent reputation in the world of psychiatry. Wherever you go, people recognize this name and know that you're well trained.
Your generation is going to take advantage of all the amazing things that have been developed in psychiatric genetics and all the advances in technology that will allow us to reach people who we've never been able to reach before in ways we never dreamed possible.
We have the most eminent researchers in the field who are developing cutting-edge treatments, and trainees can work with those researchers and deliver those evidence-based treatments with the clinical populations right here in their training environment.
The diversity of the patient population that we get to see and the diversity of the pathologies that we get to see is pretty unique to the Brown University residency program, just because of the nature of how many different sites we get to rotate through.
Rhode Island Hospital is a large general hospital. It has expertise in consult liaison behavioral medicine, integrated care. The Emma Pendleton Bradley Hospital, founded in 1931, is the nation's first teaching hospital devoted exclusively to child and adolescent psychiatry. Women and Infants Hospital, a specialty hospital dedicated to the care of women and newborns, serves a broad and diverse primary care population in Rhode Island. The Providence Veterans Affairs Medical Center is a 98-bed medical hospital that serves the veterans of Rhode Island and southeastern Massachusetts. The Miriam Hospital is a 250-bed general medical facility, and Butler Hospital is our flagship for adult psychiatric services.
With our multiple clinical sites and all of the clinics that have been built within those sites, there is a wonderful breadth of opportunity here for people to find what it is that they want to be and become.
We welcome trainees to integrate right into the team and to really understand experientially what it feels like to help a child and a family.
Doing a pretty good job though.
And to know the joy of children getting better.
You really take ownership of the patient. I work hand in hand with attending, but we conduct family meetings. I meet one-on-one with patients for therapy. I work with the neuropsychologists, the social workers, the nurses.
Mondays and Fridays, you sort of bookend the week with rounding on every patient, but throughout the middle of the week, you spend more time working on each individual pod. So if you have a patient who's in one group, you get to really dive deep with that one patient.
I think this is when you really become a therapist or learn to do therapies through the residency portion.
So a couple different things stood out for me when I interviewed at Brown. One was the closeness between the residents, not only between the same years, but between the different classes. I felt a unique cohesiveness amongst them all.
In grad school, I only had 5 people in my cohort. Here there were 25, so there was always somebody around. To me, that was a huge increase in my social support after grad school coming here.
I can't think of a person on the team I haven't leaned on for support in some aspect.
The clinical psychology department and the psychiatry departments really work together. We often see patients together, we do cases together, we even conduct research together, and I don't know that I've seen that synergy everywhere that I've been.
One of my personal passions is advocacy, and so I've made sure to build that into my life here in Providence, and finding ways, finding existing avenues here in the program, but more than anything, being able to take those passions, come to program leadership, say I have an idea, and be able to run with it.
Something that stuck out to me was very early on in the interview process, they introduced us to the diversity committee, and that was important to me to know that there would be people here with whom I could liaise or consult or get advice from in navigating academia, clinical psychology, and all these things.
The Diversity Committee has several initiatives. The first we talk a lot about is our mentoring program. So our program is meant to match mentees along the trainee and faculty route. People discuss their research interests, some discuss clinical interests, and some discuss personal interests along the lines of diversity and inclusion.
And it's like a part of a 5-part lecture series about race and medicine and stuff like that.
So our faculty often want to know more about the issues related to diversity and inclusion, and so we have trainings along the year that include faculty and trainees so that we can come together to talk about these issues.
Our faculty are very approachable, and they're very invested in promoting our trainees and helping them find their way to the next step.
So our department has over 130 full-time faculty members. We have outstanding clinicians, we have outstanding researchers. Our training directors are the best in the country.
I had this feeling that we're all in this together, not just everyone in their own office. You could literally walk down the hall, walk down the corner, walk down the block, and you have an expert in an area that you're newly interested in.
With our different research cores, with the amount of research funding that we have in this department, there is likely somebody here that is doing what you want to do.
The psychology faculty specifically has been so wonderful with helping me to complete the research that I'm interested in. I have been offered to be a part of studies. I have been given access to data to answer my research questions, and I really feel like I've gained some lifelong mentors here at Brown.
I wanted to move to a smaller city and train somewhere where you see the entire encatchment of the patient population.
So Providence is fun to live. It's small enough, but it's also easy to get around. I've lived here with and without a car, and buses are free, they're reliable, they're pretty frequent.
I think everything on Rhode Island takes like 10 minutes to get to, which has been true for me in all my training sites.
It's very walkable and also bikeable. There's plenty of beaches nearby that you could either bike or drive to. So it's great for someone who enjoys the outdoors, but also for someone who enjoys a little bit of culture too.
So there are a lot of things for people with family to do, a lot of parks, a lot of children's museums, hiking trails. We recently bought a house because we really liked the area, and living in an apartment was a little bit tough with 2 kids running around. And Rhode Island, and especially around the area of Brown University Belgrave Hospital, it's fairly affordable.
It's a very diverse city. You get a lot of languages, and then as you get to know the city itself, you get to fall in love with the food scene here, and great places to be able to meet new friends, hang out with colleagues.
I would just say that if you feel like the research interest is there and you feel like the clinical interest is there, Brown is exactly as advertised.
We feel Brown is a tremendously exciting environment in which to train yourself to be able to deliver what the next generation of mental health care is going to look like.